Hey Pisces, welcome to Glow in the Dark Tarot. I'm going to be doing your reading for September 2019. Sorry if it's late. I'm going to start doing mid-months probably next week. Please keep in mind that this reading may or may not resonate with you. So, if that is the case, please also keep in mind that there are other readers out there on the YouTube universe that you can feel free to check out, okay? Alright, so Pisces. So Pisces, I think the last time I did your reading for August, I kind of said something to the effect of like, I think someone played you, basically. I believe I said that, someone played you, but, they ended up playing themselves. And, Pisces, I do get this feeling that you are emotional, but I do think that you are doing your best to push forward and to move on. Okay? I think you've had some endings. I think you've had some endings that you did not want to end, or, maybe you have some endings that you're trying to control, or maybe you have some endings that some, other people are trying to control. I do think that regardless of the situation or whatever is going on, there is a part of you that just, you don't want to fight, right? So maybe there is something changing in your life, Pisces, that you don't really feel like you have control over. You kind of want to avoid this disaster moment. Maybe you're trying your best to keep a tower up, and this could have to do with work. This also, I can easily see how this has to do with love, and I think I said that in your other video too, how it read like a love reading, like it had to do with love. So what I see is that there is something that I think you are trying to avoid. Maybe you are trying to, not so much trying to avoid this tower from falling down, but maybe you're trying to avoid the fighting that goes with it, the fighting that goes after it. Sometimes when, you end a toxic relationship, or you end a bad situation, the persons or people or groups or, energies on the other side might not feel so great about it, and they might actually want to fight. And I think that whether this is something ending or whether this is something you're trying to avoid ending, you don't want to fight. Whatever the situation is, you don't want to fight, but I do think that it has you a little bit upside down as far as your logic. I do think it has you a little bit emotional. I do think it has you a little bit aggravated. I think it's probably something that just kind of hits you in the head. Yeah, I mean, and part of me also sees these energies as people too. I kind of don't see this as you in some ways. This could not be you. This could just be someone that you're dealing with. Someone who is not very stable as far as emotions, or maybe they're overly emotional and not so rational. Maybe they do have some controlling tendencies and things like that. Maybe it's a situation of someone likes to control too much, but then, oh baby, I'm sorry, something like that. That could be for someone out there. So in the middle of the spread, you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, and the Five of Wands in the reverse. So again, there is that energy of you where you don't really feel like fighting. Whatever this is, you don't feel like fighting. Like, I don't feel like fucking arguing with you. Like, or, I don't feel like doing any of that petty shit after a breakup or after you end a job, or I don't even feel like having any negative vibes or negative energy, whether or not this has to do with love, finances, or career. Whoops. 1 second, Pisces. Sorry. I guess it wouldn't be a glow in the dark tarot if my camera didn't fall down. Anyway, yeah, I kind of feel like, from you, Pisces, you kind of just want to get along, whether that means move along or whether that means just, hey, let's just be cool, right? I do think there is a part of you that is very aware of the things that you do have. So I'm hearing like, if this is a situation where, you have every single thing going for you, as far as your stability, as far as your job, as far as your career, but you don't have that one thing like love, or stable love or anything like that. I could see that. So there is a part of you that is aware of the good things that you have and of the blessings that you have, of the coin that you have, of the stability that you have, of the love by other means that you are surrounded by. But especially if this does have to do with love, I think that there is some part of you that just does not feel like this wheel of fortune is for you. I feel like there's some part of you that does not feel like when it comes to certain things, it particularly goes your way or you just get lucky with them. But at the same time, Pisces, I think there's a part of you that doesn't even want to fight that. Maybe you almost don't care anymore. Maybe you're just like, fuck it. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe you just don't. Maybe you're getting to that point where you just don't give a shit anymore. Just don't give a shit about certain things. I think that there are certain things that you are focused on and that you are trying to focus on. Those things are stable. Anything after that, you don't really feel like it's within your control or it's for you, or it just, I'm very lucky in multiple aspects of my life, but maybe when it comes to that one thing, it just doesn't work out. I don't care. I'm just not gonna fight. Excuse me. So I do feel and I do see that you are going towards some sense of stability. You're moving very impulsively to move forward or to move on. You're moving very quickly, very fervently towards, maybe having your shit together, having your shit straight, how you appear on the outside, how you look to other people, how you feel on the inside. I think that there is a fertile nature about you, Pisces, whether or not that has to do with babies, whether or not that just has to do with manifesting in your life. There's a very fertile nature about you, and I feel like you are rushing towards that. Whatever that means to you, you do not want it to be toxic. You do not want it to be bound to addictions. You do not want it to be bound to anything that is not good. And I feel like you have probably been in some toxic situations, Pisces. So I think that even though you may feel like certain things don't work out for you, and maybe you're not even trying to bother yourself with those things that don't work out with you, whatever the hell it is that you do next, whatever your next money move is, it's not going to have any of that devil energy. With that though, I do see, excuse me, maybe a little bit of confusion. Maybe you are going a little bit more inward. Maybe you are turning a little bit away from the spotlight. Maybe you are trying to move in silence. I feel like there is some type of confusion or fogginess. And I feel like, especially if this has to do with love, and this goes back to what I just said, especially if this has to do with love, there is a part of you that is just bored or uninterested. There's this cup dangling in front of you, and you're just, your mind is elsewhere. You're not even thinking about it, or you're just not interested in it. And I feel like this disinterest, or, this boredom comes from a sense of experience. This cup that is dangling in your face looks just like the other cups. What's so different about that cup? Now, this could also mean that there is something right in front of your face that universe wants you to see, and you're just not seeing it, or you're not paying attention to it. Maybe you're a little bit too preoccupied in emotions or in your thoughts. With this judgment energy, though, I do think that you are going to be shown some things. I do think that certain things are going to come to you. Certain realizations are going to come to you to where you will realize that certain things are outside of your control. I do feel like there will be something where universe will step in. Something's going to happen where it's going to put you on that path where you really will be forced to make this choice to be this Queen of Cups, to be contemplative, to be somewhat intuitive, to have emotions but try to contain them and maybe even analyze them a little bit, or just think about what you're feeling about, or thinking about what you're thinking about a little bit with this Queen of Cups. So you are going to be pushed to a place where you are coming from being just a little bit confused and maybe not really seeing the big picture, or maybe not really seeing everything clearly because of some fog, to the point where you have to sit down with yourself and your emotions, or you have to sit down with yourself and with the reality of some things, or you have to think and think and think. That being said, there is some imbalance. Okay, you're either dropping this notion of juggling something, or there is some imbalance of some sort on your part. And one thing I do want to point out too, the card after this is the Lovers in the reverse. Now for your clarifying deck, at the bottom of the deck, hold on, is the Lovers in the reverse. Can you see that? So that's almost like double clarification. There is some imbalance in your life. There is some imbalance. There is possibly some, disinterest in love. There is possibly some feeling of karmic injustice or unfairness. But one thing that you are going to have to do is you're going to have to use your intuition, and you're going to have to be quiet. And don't pay attention too much to your feeling of instability. But that's just what I see, Pisces. So Pisces, so far, that's what I'm seeing. I feel like you are at a place where you are either bored, or you are just becoming bored with certain things. I get this sense that you're kind of in this limbo, or this kind of like blah middle ground state. On one hand, you know that you have a lot, you know that you can still do a lot, you know that you are still powerful, you know that you are still strong. But then on the other hand, it's imbalanced, and it's kind of empty, and maybe you're thinking about past things that people have done to you, and maybe you're not really seeing the possibility for balance in many facets of your life. I really cannot make this up that you have the Lovers in the reverse. And I took the bottom of the deck card and put it over here, but that's so interesting to me that you have that twice on both bottoms of the decks for the regular spread and the clarification spread. So Pisces, I was going to use this video to do your full reading as far as your clarification cards. I got new tarot cards for your clarifiers. That's going to be the clarifier for the first card for the Tower in the reverse. Also got animal spirit cards so that you guys can have more of a takeaway as far as advice from the universe of how to move forward and what to do. But so that my phone doesn't die, my camera doesn't die, I'm going to upload this one, and I'm going to upload your, I'll call it the extended like I was doing before. I'm going to upload that separately. So Pisces, hopefully this reading resonated for you. I'm sorry it's so short. But hopefully this really resonated for you. If it didn't, I'm so sorry. Please feel free to check out other readers on YouTube until you find the message that works for you. Thank you for tuning in to Glow in the Dark Tarot. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please leave me a comment. Please share this video, and look out for your extended that will be uploaded shortly. And if this video gets a lot of likes, I will give you guys a bonus. Okay? All right, Pisces, see you in a bit. Bye.